I'm Jill Shah, president of the Shah Family Foundation, and I'm here with Lauren Baker, the First Lady of Massachusetts. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, as you know, at the Shah Family Foundation, we believe that every child deserves delicious, nutritious meals every day when school is in session and when it isn't. And we know now more than ever that this is critical to building strong, resilient communities. So today, you and I are here to talk about a very important program, the Pandemic EBT or PEBT program, which was launched back in April to help families buy food. Lauren, can you tell us more about this program?
Yes, this is an incredible benefit to families across Massachusetts. The federal government has provided funding, additional dollars for every child who's eligible for the school lunch program, which is a national program by the USDA.
Right.
And we're so proud that Massachusetts was the fourth state to be approved for this program. And it brings in millions of dollars for children for healthy food. And in Massachusetts, we've had over 500,000 eligible children receive benefits either through their SNAP card or through this PEBT card. And each child receives $399. And this extra funding can really be helpful to families in getting the healthy food that their families love. And at the same time, it really helps local retailers and Massachusetts farms. So I hope everybody takes advantage of it.
Absolutely. So every child in these 500,000 children across the state receives $399. So if you have multiple children in your family, multiple children receive that fund. How can families use the PEBT funds? Can you go to the grocery store? Can you use it at your farmer's market? How do you use the funds?
Yes, you can. You can use the funds anywhere that accepts SNAP.
Yep.
And so that's local grocery stores and other retailers. And now they've made it possible for you to be able to use your PEBT benefit on Amazon and at Walmart online.
What if you receive the card and you don't feel like you need it? If you feel like you can already afford the groceries that you need, what should you do?
We would encourage you, if you have children who are eligible for this PEBT card program, please use the funds that were given to you and use them at local retailers, at farmers markets, things like that, because all of that helps stimulate our local economy and helps bring people back to work, which is something we really want to make happen in Massachusetts.
So this is pretty incredible. There's $200 million of federal funding that has been provided against this PEBT program just for the state of Massachusetts. And so if everyone uses the maximum value of those cards, that $200 million goes back into our local economy, into our local grocery stores, into our local farmers markets, and helps create new jobs, I would imagine, or support the jobs that are already in place.
Absolutely. It's extremely important. So, it helps everybody. And, the most important thing is that our children receive healthy food that they love and that it's easy for families to access the food that they need, whether it's for dietary restrictions or cultural reasons, or just to have a little extra help buying healthy food every week. That's what it's all about. We want to make sure that our children are fed and healthy.
Thank you very much, First Lady Lauren Baker, for your time and for talking with us about the PEBT program. It's such an important program for families and businesses in the Commonwealth.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, First Lady Baker and Jill from the Shaw Foundation. We appreciate your time and support for PEBT. You've been instrumental in helping us get out the word about this important program. And I'm honored today to be in Worcester, to be virtually, talking with Mayor Joseph Petty of Worcester and Gina Plato, Nino, who's a staff attorney at Central West Justice Center, who've been instrumental in helping us also get the word out and share information about this important program. Thank you both for joining us. And we kind of want to make this a conversation to talk a little bit about what do you both need to know and what do you think the families in Worcester need to know about PEBT to make sure that this important resource is being used.
Commissioner, thank you, and appreciate all the work you're doing here on behalf of the City of Worcester and your group. But the Pandemic EBT card is a program that helps our families buy food during the school closures from COVID-19. We know how challenging it can be for families to access food during this time, and this program really provides the extra help that our families need here in the City of Worcester.
I mean, one of the unique and beneficial things about this program is it puts funds directly in the hands of our families who can purchase food at the times and locations that make the most sense to them, which can supplement some of our other food security efforts, whether it's the school meal sites with Drop and Go or our food pantries. Gina, could you talk a little bit about when the funds came in and what families need to know about the availability of them?
Oh, absolutely. You're really the expert, because we had two batches of people, right? We had the people who were DTA members who were able to get the funds directly into their cards. And then we had those who were not part of DTA who were issued a card that looks just like a debit card. And I think that's where the issue is, that even though we tried to do a lot of outreach around it, people weren't expecting this card. But it basically, I think that the easiest way to think about it is like a gift card that folks got. We began outreach. The funds were issued around June. We started around there. People first got a letter saying, dear Commissioner Kershaw, you're going to be getting this letter. And then folks were just not aware that this was coming. So yes, around June, people got this letter. And later on, about a week or 2 weeks later, people got the card. And this is where we are now. The people got this card, but like a gift card, when you get a gift card, you need to activate it. And I think that's why we're meeting here today, that we have a couple of folks, a couple in Worcester that received this card but haven't activated it. And, Commissioner Kershaw, I wanted to go on to your point about how this helps the local economy, because we meet weekly in Worcester with various food pantries across our region. And between the months of June and July, the people going to the food pantries decreased because they were utilizing PEBT benefits. Now that those PEBT benefits have stopped, there's more of an increase in food security. But during that time, people were shopping at local supermarkets, they were helping the local economy, and people were able to purchase and take food home that was good for them.
Right. So yeah, it's a huge benefit both to the families themselves who can purchase healthy foods directly, as well as to the economy going directly into our local markets and grocery stores where SNAP is accepted. So we've been working together as a group to try and figure out how to make sure people are as aware of this program as possible and that their cards are activated. And I'm wondering, Mayor, if you want to talk a little bit about sort of where we are on activation and what you think we can do and what the families need to know about making sure they get their cards activated and are able to use these benefits. Yeah,
right now there's around 2,300 unactivated cards, and those up to 3,000. Probably a little bit over a month ago, and I want to thank Gina and her group for really pushing it out there and letting people know they should activate their cards. And it could be a different variety of reasons. You could have changed your address because they got lost in the mail, and there is no way to address your concerns. So we want to make sure that these federal dollars are utilized to help your family buy food. And at the same time, we want to encourage you to use them to help support your local grocer or family market, who may also be struggling during this difficult time. I know Gina had mentioned how important it is to get out there and support your local economy. So using that card is important. And again, we have 2,300 that are unactivated, and our goal is to make sure all those cards are activated over the next month or so.
And I just want to take a minute to encourage families, if you're having a hard time, we are experiencing fairly high call volume at the department right now, but we can assist with activating cards. If you have a card and lost your instructions or don't have the information about how to activate, and our assistance line is 877-382-2888. 2363, and I'll apologize in advance if there's wait times on there, but we can assist for families who need that.
Yeah,
One of
and
the
there's-
worries, yep, sorry.
I was just going to say, you also can access for people in Worcester. We have the Family Resource Center that people can contact, need information to, and their phone number is 508-796-1411. That's 508-796-1411. And that's where we're using the Family Resource Center for all our issues for a gathering point. So.
And they've been
Commissioner,
yeah,
I wanted to add that the great thing about the DTA phone number that you just gave, when people call, they should press option 6. Even if you don't speak English, DTA has multiple people available to speak in your own language. And DTA has also partnered with Project Bread. They also speak multiple languages, so language barrier should not be an issue. But we really do encourage folks to call the number. And because you're here, Commissioner, and you represent DTA, I know that, can you just express to folks listening in how their information is private, that this has nothing to do with immigration, that you're not reporting this information? I think that's helpful to be a big helpful part of this conversation.
Yes, we've heard concerns across the state about folks who are worried about immigration status, and I just want to reiterate that use of the PEBT card will have no impact on immigration status at all, and we want to encourage people to activate their cards, be in contact, to use these benefits that are made available to you because of participation in the school meals program, and they won't impact your immigration status. So please do use these cards, again, for your own health and nutrition, as well as the local economy.
And go ahead.
No, sorry. I was just going to say, and the great thing about calling the DTA assistance line is that if people are interested, they can also apply for SNAP right then and there. Folks who are already known to DTA got their funds put in their EBT card. So I know that DTA workers can do an application as they're with folks on the phone. So another option to consider about activating.
Yeah, I also want to encourage so you said it, Gina, earlier, which is, about 60% of the folks who received our PEBT benefits are actually not on SNAP. And we want to encourage folks to be able to apply for SNAP. And you don't have to call us, DTA Connect. We have an app. And we also have a website, and you can find out in about 20 seconds on our website if you're eligible for SNAP, and then apply right online without having to call or talk to one of our workers, and we're able to process most of the information and have that submitted directly online. So we want to encourage people as much as possible to find out if you're eligible, and please apply.
You also can contact Project Bread's Food Source Hotline. People have 160 different languages, as Gina was saying. And their phone number is 800-645-8333. And people should realize, it's $399 on these cards for back in May and June. And if you have the chance, if you haven't used it all, you should use it. Again, it's important to the economy. It's important to the children here in the city of Worcester and the families, that make sure people have the right food resources as we deal with COVID-19. And we're going to be delaying the school opening anyways here in the city. So we do have outreach sources here in Worcester, elder services. You can contact them if you're an elderly person. We deliver meals. The school department delivers mail. Combination of the Friendly House here in the city. So there's a lot of different avenues that people can reach out to, including the Family Resource Center.
Do we want to talk a little bit about where folks can use their cards? So we want you to find your cards. We want you to activate them. We want you to call us or one of the resources so that they can get activated. You have about $399 on those cards, or per eligible student. So you may have more depending on how many students you have in your household that's available to use. And Gina or Mayor, do you want to weigh in on where they can use those cards?
Before we get that, I just want to make sure, thank you for bringing that up, that, I said that people were sent a letter. It is per child. So the letter, if I have 3 children, the letter's not going to come to me. It's going to come to my 3 kids. And each child, Susie, Johnny, Matt, is going to get a card each. And if folks want to call that number for DTA or try to activate it on their own, keep in mind that it asks you for a social security number. It's not asking you for that. It's asking you for information that's on the letter. So I know some folks get tripped up on that. but that's information there. And this EBT card can be utilized, like this is why we're saying our local grocers, they have really struggled during this time. If they accept EBT cards, cards, you can utilize it in any of these. You can walk down the street to your local grocer that accepts EBT cards, and they can utilize it there. No, Mayor Petty, if you were going to add anything else.
So anywhere SNAP is accepted, anyone can use their PBT card. It is limited to food items, so not household items or diapers or other things, but any food items that are at a vendor or a market that accepts SNAP.
We have a great support group that was developed since March, since COVID-19 began. And you can outreach to my office or to Gina or to anybody. We have this group called Worcester Together. It meets once a week and has subgroups. And the whole objective, I meet people I've never met before. And I never met Gina until really get to know her well in this and how important she is in this whole pandemic and make sure she's taking care of people. So you shouldn't be afraid to reach out for help. And whether you are documented or undocumented, it's important that everything is secured. Your information will not be passed on. Infrastructure in place, and just asking people to take advantage of that infrastructure. We have a great partnership with the who have food insecurities. All their issues are addressed.
And I just would like to add that, you mentioned that folks may not want to utilize it. COVID has taken a lot longer than we all expected. I know you said we were going to meet about these issues for 3 weeks. Now it's turned into 6 months. Hold on to the card, because we just don't know how much longer, some of us are going to be able to work from home. We don't know how job stability is going to affect us. So hold on to the card. And on another point, if you were to utilize the card, hold on to it. We don't know what's going to happen at the federal level. But if they do approve the the HEROES Act, there is federal funding there available for families for the months of July and August. But we don't know what's going to happen at the federal level. But hold on to these cards. So if there is additional money, great. DTA will put the money in there. If there isn't, then you had a nice gift card there. But hold on to it, because it'll make things easier. And I just want to reiterate what Mayor Petty said, that we're part of such a great community that came together to tackle COVID. And we have been working together to make sure that all of the information we have around any sort of resources goes to our Family Resource Center. I know the mayor already gave that number, but I want to give it again. It's 508-796-1411. And they set up a program to give hot meals for COVID positive families and their households. So if you are COVID positive, please call that phone number. They will give you 2 weeks of meals, not just for you, but your family. We also know that, Worcester has a couple of food deserts, and people are afraid of taking public transportation. So we set up food deliveries for families who need access. There's also Lyft codes available for folks who don't want to take public transportation. They may be able to take that to get to their doctor's appointments or to other food pantries. There is just so many resources out there that our whole community has been giving them to the Family Resource Center so that they can set them up with the other resources that we have, because we know that food insecurity is not a silo. It stems from many other issues, right, like housing and so on. So we really encourage folks to call that number if they're experiencing this. They may help them with diapers, with cards to get their food. There's just so many resources there, and our community has been working hard to make sure that all of that information goes to one place so that our families don't have to call multiple agencies, but they only have to call one.
I just want to reiterate that the state and the local communities and our partners in the community are all working together to try and address food insecurity. And I want to thank so much the mayor and Gina for your assistance in the community, as well as across the state around policy issues affecting families and hunger.